Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Convention with the Willie Comic Book Roundup. We've covered a few of last week's books. Now it's going to keep charting through. Picking things off, we've got Amazing Spider-Man number 19. So, way back, I say way back, it was maybe 6 months ago, in Amazing Spider-Man number 900, or number 6 for this current run, Black Cat gave Peter another spirited kiss after his botched surprise birthday party, and shortly after that, Peter decided to ask Felicia out on a date, stating that pointing out they'd never actually been on a date. This was not what Felicia was expecting. She was kind of expecting basically kind of a we really shouldn't do this date. We do this date all the time. Let's just not do it this time. So, anyway, this, as well as the next issue of Amazing Spider-Man, will be that date. So, they are apparently taking a spa weekend in upstate New York. While Peter, fun point is that while Peter is telling May about the planned weekend, she does advise him to wear a raincoat. But they arrive at the resort they're staying at, and it turns out that Mary Jane's taking the weekend there too with her beau. And but they try to make the big things the best they can with, Peter say, hey, okay, we're, this weekend for him is about him and Felicia. But an explosion occurs, and so they go to investigate and find what appear to be a bargain basement version of the Sinister Six trying to kill White Rabbit. However, it turns out that it's all it's not what it appears. Basically, they're a bunch of Tombstone's henchmen are basically kind of having having a little fun with the Sinister Six Tech. The idea kind of being, hey, basically rent the stuff out to people for weekend for fun weekends. It's all designed with safety settings on all of it so that it's not actually lethal anymore. Not entirely a terrible idea. But as this is all being discussed, one of the not six, Mysterio, has been killed. And so the question becomes, who did it? And with Spider-Man looking into this, the not Sinister Six is kind of, I guess there's really only now at this point 5, but so they don't exactly take kind of the fact that one of them is being accused of killing not Mysterio. Not really thinking about the fact that one of them is probably the killer, and so yeah, but that is where the issue ends. Fun little aside. I'm honestly really hoping we can get that Amazing Spider-Man can get back to telling the story it's trying to tell. And it looks like we're on track with that. Moving on to our next book, we've got Goblin number 4. Where we left off, Norman Osborn talked with current Jack-O-Lantern and was trying, basically offered to help Jack get back on his feet and maybe become more than just yet another mook in the jack-o'-lantern suit. So we open with Norman and Peter meeting up in Central Park, and Norman saying, "Hey, you've got carte blanche at Oscorp. Anything you want to do, go for it. You don't even need my approval. You don't need my approval for anything." Meanwhile, Owen, the most recent Jack-o'-lantern, is talking with a therapist, Dr. Fromm, and apparently Norman Osborn is paying for the whole thing. And she talks to him about what he wants to do, and he's maybe he can't be a doctor like he initially tried to, but he can at least try and help people, heal things. Elsewhere, Norman Osborn takes down Shocker, turns him over to the police, but then the police tell him, "Hey, there's a hostage situation." He goes to intervene and sees Jack-o'-lantern in the full getup. And they talk a bit, but Jack-o'-lantern pulls out a spiked ball, which looks like basically a painted version of the ends of Queen Goblin's staff. Norman tries to take it, but something goes wrong and it explodes, killing Owen. Osborn flies off, being accused of killing Jack-o'-lantern, and with the device that exploded. And he realizes what it is. He has a bit of he has a visitation of his conscience, which has taken the form of Gwen Stacy. Tries to kill it, but of course he can't kill his conscience. Peter shows up demanding the Gold Goblin suit, and Norman tries to tell him, hey, this was all set up by Queen Goblin, but the scepter piece is gone. Norman pays for Owen Ward's funeral, attends from a distance. Reporters want to talk to him, as do the FBI, wanting to know about where Owen Ward got the gear, the jack-o'-lantern gear in the first place. Norman looks into Dr. Fromm, but is told there isn't a Dr. Fromm on staff. It is, in fact, Dr. Kafka, who is taking the place of Norman's driver, and takes her Queen Goblin form as she drives off with Norman in the car. And that is where the issue ends. I've really been looking forward to some kind of big thing between Queen Goblin and Norman. I wasn't entirely keen on the concept of Norman taking on a new Goblin persona, but yeah, him and Queen Goblin need to hash things out. Preferably, much less in a not entirely verbal format. Hey, it makes for good comics. What can I say? Moving on though to our next book. And yeah, this is kind of Goblins Galore, this video. We got Red Goblin, #1. So during Dark Web, Dylan Brock, the current host of the Venom Symbiote, gave his friend Normie Osborn a symbiote piece. And the two of them worked together to take on Bedlam. So, turns out that the symbiote piece is basically kind of it's like a puppy. So, but Normie hasn't bonded with it. So we get a little bit of Normie's background with goblins, namely that his grandfather was a Green Goblin, and when Norman bonded with the Carnage symbiote, he made Normie his sidekick, the Goblin Child. So there's a group called the Goblin Nation, kind of the street gang that Norman tried to form back in the day, but yeah, they're supposed to be gone. But they're reformed, and they're going after a guy, and Normie shows up to stop them. He gets injured, however, which causes the symbiote to kind of take a little more control. Now, it's more to note that Normie hasn't bonded with the symbiote, so therefore, the symbiote doesn't exactly do everything Normie tells him to do. But Normie saves fights the Goblin Nation members, and though he does get injured in the process, to a Goblin grenade to the chest. And we have a fun little fact. Apparently, symbiotes love chocolate. Or, well, sugar. But Normie has a name for his symbiote, Rascal. And, well, Rascal does have a tendency to kind of peer into Normie's memories when Normie's sleeping. Though Normie's told him not to do that. After the fight, Normie broke into a bodega, ate about $80 worth of candy bars, and, well, no charges being pressed because, well, the bodega owner now owns 2 bodegas, courtesy of Grandpa Norman. And Normie's been bailed out. They butt heads a bit on the car ride home, but it seems like they're both trying to be better to one another. But that night we've got a rehab. Norman Osborn's opening a rehab facility, and he expects Liz, Normie, and Normie's half-brother Stanley to all be there. Elsewhere, the Goblin Nation guys are talking with their leader, telling them what happened. Showing them a picture. And so the leader figures, oh, well, of course, Norman can't come after us directly. He's trying to be, he's trying to do this whole, oh, I'm not the Green Goblin anymore. I'm a good man. I've changed. But he sends, after killing one of the members in front of the rest, he sends the remainder out to crash the big opening. Rascal and Normie argue a bit about things, and but Normie's got to help Stanley get ready, and then they have to go to we got the grand opening of the rehabilitation center. Norman makes a great speech about addiction, and he himself is also a victim of addiction. It's not an easy thing. It's not easy to deal with, and that the center, the Harold Osborn Center, is there in part to, so there's some place for people who need help to ask for it. But it's attacked by the Goblin Nation. Norman takes on the Goblin Nation members. And Normie's taken prisoner by one of them, but Norman says, "Hey, look, let Normie go. I'll go with you, whatever you want." But he's questioned by the leader of the Goblin Nation, who's revealed to be none other than Phil Urich, who appears to be back from the dead. Only he kind of got he didn't get the full res, just kind of a, hey, your body has life, but it ain't healed up. And that is where the issue ends. All right, fun start, and I gotta say, I think Goblins Galore sounds like a great name for a Spider-Man story. Just saying, it's freebie Marvel. You can have that one. Fun start. I guess the only problem I have with Red Goblin is the idea of there being just I've lo- on the one hand I like the concept of the Goblin Legacy, but on the other hand, it's just like sometimes it feels like there are way too many Goblin characters, and that every time Marvel tries to winnow it down, okay, there's a Green Goblin, there's a Hobgoblin, that's it. Then someone else comes along and says, "Oh yeah, by the way, there's all these other extraneous goblins too." So yeah. Moving on though to our next book, we've got Daredevil #8. Where we left off, Bullet, one of the criminals that Daredevil broke out of the Myrmidon, had opted to leave the Fist to try and be with his kid. However, it turns out the Hand had taken his kid, and so Bullet informed Daredevil of this. And so, Daredevil leads the Fist against the Hand to rescue Bullet's son. The High Slayer of the Hand, Frank Castle, is riding upon a giant friggin' dragon. Because, hey, when you think Punisher, riding a friggin' dragon is exactly what comes to mind. I mean, hey, there's a lot that, yeah. But, both Stick and Elektra are involved, and it seems that Bullet has been turned by the Hand. Daredevil and Punisher duke it out, but Stegron, Wrecker, and and the others are able to at least able to do a few things. Agony also manages to calm down Bullet, or at least relieve him of the Hand's control. Bullet's son is rescued. Daredevil and Punisher duke it out. Elektra gets injured. The dragon is relieved of the Hand's control by Daredevil and flies off. But all in all, not exactly a win for the Fist. More of a win for the Hand. Elsewhere, Captain America, Iron Man, and Spider-Man conclude that Daredevil must be stopped. And that is where the issue ends. This is definitely getting interesting. It'll be interesting. It's going to make for quite the interesting finale with the whole Punisher-led Hand and so on and so forth. But anyway, moving on to our last book for a moment, we've got Ghost Rider #11. Where we left off, Ghost Rider had defeated Exhaust, but we learned that a shadowy government agency, which appeared from its tech, possibly be related to Weapon Plus, had Danny Ketch. But Ghost Rider and Agent Warroad are heading along the back roads towards Savannah, Georgia. But it's clear that while he seemingly defeated Exhaust, he kind of merged elements of Exhaust with his own bike, and well, those elements don't seem to much care for Agent Warroad. We get a montage of them continuing their trek across the nation. Some bikers in Alabama checking out Johnny's bike, and one of them loses a few fingers to it. But Agent Warroad points out that it seems that this new bike wants Johnny to itself. But over dinner, Warroad and Blaze discuss what they know about what's going on in Savannah. With Talia explaining that lately, news has been scary. Neighborhoods of families murdered in their beds, bone effigies hanging from trees, faucets throughout the city running with blood, babbling voices heard through the radio and phone and television. So, which leads Talia to think they can count on a significant demonic presence. But Johnny has a fight with his bike. And buries Exhaust as well as the remains of the bike. The two of them head on towards Savannah, which appears to be burning. And that is where the issue ends. I'm digging this current run on Ghost Rider. I really am, and I honestly do hope this is a run that lasts a while. Sadly, the last run did not last anywhere near as long as it could have, and it's not part of it was bad numbers, but also just bad timing. I mean, came out shortly before COVID, and so yeah. Anyway, that's going to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying, live long and rock hard.